final slide of the 2019 BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Championships, Whistler, British Columbia, the 2010 Winter Olympic venue, on a beautiful BC day. Hello everybody, I'm Martin Haven, alongside me is John Morgan. We're getting ready for the fourth and final run as we go 20-1 to decide our world champion.
We've had 3 trips down this very challenging super speedway. Savannah Graybill from Germany's in 3rd place. She's never won a medal. She's been in the twilight of the other German athletes. 4th in the World Cup this season, but she never has been on the podium. Never won a World Cup medal. Here she's in a position to win a World Championship individual medal. 2nd place, Jacqueline Lowling, the world champion from 2017. She won a silver medal last year at the Olympics of Pyeongchang, Korea. She was one of the favorites coming in because she can really glide down these fast tracks. She's solidly in 2nd, but the girl she's chasing down, Tina Hermann, well, she won the World Championships in 2015, and then Jacqueline Lowling came along and sort of moved her to the 2nd position of the German team. Last year, a 10th place in the 2nd run at the Olympic Games forced her to miss an Olympic medal by 0.08 of a second. Today, she could extract revenge and win her 2nd World Championship.
Yeah, Tina Hermann off the podium in the Olympics. Only one of the podium finishes is here. Jacqueline Lowling, who finished in silver. She lies 2nd, 39 back. Savannah Graybill 9/10 back in 3rd place. And the only challenge to that German domination, Anna Fehn-Stettever, and conceivably, perhaps, our World Cup champion, Elena Nikitina. Last year's bronze medalist in the Games, Laura Dees, was here, but will not slide because of a whiplash concern after training. Out of the top 20, Leslie Stratton, Lin Hui Yang, Valentina Margalio, Katie Tannenbaum, Nicole Silveira, and Georgie Cohen. They join the fans trackside, and it's all down to Tina Hermann. John, this is her race to give away the 3rd heat. She extended her advantage. Nikitina here, our World Cup champion, the first Russian woman ever to claim the Crystal Globe. Well, the best she can hope for is to try and challenge for the medals, but she's got to get ahead of this girl, Anna Fehn-Stettever, finished 4th in Koenigsee last time out, when Jacqueline Lowling here won the gold. Then Fehn-Stettever was the German slider, now she slides for the Czech Republic. There's Julia Kanakina, former junior world champion, and her teammate Renato Kutsina on this track for the first time in her life. She, like everybody else, has been blown away by the speed of the ice all this fortnight of sliding, John. It's in impeccable condition, and it is faster than it's ever been. 20 sliders go in our final run. Kim Maarsemans of Belgium will be first off, and we go all the way down through the 20 in reverse order of their performance till we get to our leader, who will defend and hopefully claim her 2nd world title. Whoever wins this, unless there's a real shock in it, Savannah Graybill, it will be a 2nd world championship title. Final 20 sleds in the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Championships. We're here in Whistler, British Columbia. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching as Kim Maarsemans gets this race underway. 21st after the 1st heat, drove herself into 20th overnight, and she remains in 20th spot.
Yeah, this athlete seems, she should be back in 20th place, Martin. 14th at the Olympics, finished 14th at the World Cup season. It just went by us, but she missed one event. And she gets good starts, Martin, and just the track maybe just doesn't fit her sliding style.
And she doesn't know it as well as she knows the European tracks. Last time out in Koenigsee, she was 5th place. That was her best World Championship result.
11th at the last event in Calgary.
Well, North America for the European sliders is a little bit of an unknown compared to where they've grown up. Same when the Europeans come to, the North Americans come to Europe.
Watch this, bang, now up late here. Yeah, let's watch, see what she's coming down at. It could be the best time she's ever come down.
She's trying to chase down Kelly Delker of Puerto Rico.
54, 46, 54, 74. So that's her 2nd fastest time. A lot of personal bests going on, Martin.
Yeah, ice is faster than it's been all the way through training. It was pretty cold overnight, for Whistler at least, down to -10.
But Martin, this is the fastest track they compete on. Even St. Moritz is a natural track, a little different than this. They get the same speeds, but St. Moritz doesn't have these tight, quick changes of directions that cause the athletes' feet to come off the sleds like this. I mean, this is the exit of 14, 13 into 14. You're going to be seeing a lot of those pictures, and that wasn't perfectly smooth, but she's finished no worse than 20th.
Second of our sliders on the ice, representing Puerto Rico, a nation that makes its debut in women's skeleton for the very first time at the World Championships, is Kelly Delker. So Kelly making her World Championship debut. 31 years old, started in 2011 after a career as a pole vaulter and then a college cheerleader. Johnny Quinn, the former US bobsledder, recruited her to ice from University of North Texas, so she's got him to thank for that.
And there she goes, down the fastest track on the planet, where the speeds get up near 90 miles an hour with your chin inches off the ice.
Spent most of her career sliding with the US team, and that relationship still exists. They're very close, helping her out.
Well, Kim Marleman's at the bottom, has way more experience.
And a faster start as well, so Kelly's giving away very nearly a tenth of a second at the start. The gap is out. She's behind Marleman by 26 hundredths, but she does know the track, John.
She's going to need to know it down here up close and personal, because she needs to find a way to get rid of a quarter of a second. You know,
well, she's a tall athlete. I think Marleman gives away good 6 inches.
Coming.
Let's see how she gets across the line.
Oh, she does it. Wow.
100th quicker in the run, 400th quicker over 4 trips.
Just the way she hit that finish curve. She let it go on the bottom. She had a quarter-second deficiency, which, yes, it can be overcome. She just did it there, but not often.
Here's her consistency. Her starts were between a 5:06 and 2:5:08. And her runs, a 54.71, a 75, and now a 73.
Look at this exit here, Martin. You remember we saw Kim Marleman with the feet coming up on the exit of 14, 13, and here she was perfect. But watch the way she climbs into the finish. You can see that, and then this pictures, you bounce once there, you can do it. If you bounce twice, you're going uphill before the finish line. That can really cost you some time.
Kelly Delker of Puerto Rico, our leader. A loose third heat, dropped her back down the order. What about Megan Henry of the USA? Disappointing first start, only 15th fastest, 7th quickest in the field in the last 2. Little slip off the block, perhaps, for the 31-year-old Army intelligence officer.
She had 12th best time in the second run. First run, she was 19th, and the third run, 16th. So maybe the second run.
That's her slowest start. I think she did slip off the block.
She's got a second lead, though. I mean, okay, we don't want to jinx her, Martin. It's almost impossible to throw away a second lead on most tracks, but on this track, anything can happen.
Went to college with teammate Savannah Graybill, originally recruited for Bobsleigh by Lana Myers-Taylor. She took to skeleton when they figured out that she was maybe a bit on the petite side for a bobsleigh break woman.
You can see the shades up every place, Martin. That's because they're protecting the ice. Because we have 4-man bobsledding coming up in a couple hours.
78.3 miles an hour. Now the speed's up to 85.
One hit.
Good run across the line.
54.43.
So 3/10 quicker than Kelly Delker's just come down.
That's pretty good.
She will end up in no worse than 18th place. Her first World Championships was in Westerberg 2017. She didn't make the final run there. Now let's watch her at the start. Yeah, little slip for the first couple of steps. The sun's on the ice there, a little softer under their spikes.
Plus, this is the 4th heat. They only do this once a year at the World Championships and at the Olympics, 2 heats. One day, 2 heats the next. The World Cup's usually 2 heats. How she qualified for the event was funny, Martin. She had the Lake Placid event. She realized that the USA was going to qualify 3 sleds for the Worlds. They didn't have the official notice, but she started going west. Then in Calgary, she found out, and then she came here. She was so excited.
She is our leader, Megan Henry of the USA. Next up, Kimberley Bos of the Netherlands. 3rd and 4th fastest starts in the field. And Bos in her 3rd World Championships, the 25-year-old, though, not as experienced on this track as she needs to be to keep her European-style performances up.
Martin, 8th place at the Olympics last year. She shouldn't be back here like Kim Marleman. She should be doing better. I mean, that track in Pyeongchang is not as fast as this, but it's very challenging. She gets great starts.
Started in bobsleigh, bronze medalist at Youth Olympic Games 2012. She was a junior world champion that year as a bobsled driver as well, before converting to skeleton. She had good results in the European tracks, Westerberg, Koenigsegg in the Worlds there. But she's losing out on experience to some of her competitors in the field here.
Starting to fly away now from Megan Henry.
Yeah.
Well, you expect this. You don't expect her to be back in this 16th position. You expect her to be up in top 10, which she's done for most of the year.
Huge hit on the wall, comes across the line, 53.88. That is her fastest run. And there's her coach, Krista Bromley, using her Bromley Tech sled. And having that input from the horse's mouth, if you like, from Kristen and Richard Bromley, really helps her keep on top of the setup of the sled, and that's her best run of the competition.
By a lot.
Yeah, she's in a lot of pain, though, from that hit on the wall.
Well, there's 4 hits on the wall, then 4 hits of training.
Yeah.
There's not too many people getting down without hitting that wall. And the wall doesn't forgive. Good lines here in the bottom. She, you know, a little out of control with the toes right there, but here's the wall we keep talking about. And
yeah.
That's at 80 miles an hour.
There's the
her cup of coffee.
There is her first ever coffee. Cup of coffee.
She lost that bet you talked about in the 3rd run.
Next up, one of 2 debutantes for Great Britain, Ashley Pittaway, just 18 years of age, the youngest slider in the field, the Youth Olympic gold medalist in girls skeleton from 2016.
She showed up a couple years ago at the World Championships. She's a junior world champion, or
just 15 years old then she was. She needed a chaperone everywhere she went. She doesn't need a chaperone here, but you could probably do with a guardian angel on this track.
Now, she's got red numbers by almost 4/10, but she's one of the athletes we talk about. Doesn't get a good start. Tall, heavier, and she gets the ability to really manufacture some speed usually. She's going to need it here.
Yep.
She's 3/10 back plus.
Now, has the gap stopped growing? It has. It was a little uncomfortable on the take-on. Can she find the speed at the bottom to get back in front to Kimberley Bos of the Netherlands?
It'll be tough. No, not going to do it.
15th in the 2 heats yesterday, only 18th fastest in heat 3. And she comes across the line, 54.09. Well, that's nearly 3/10, just over 3/10 quicker than her last trip. But she slips behind Kim Marmans by 2/10 of a second. Well, Ashley Pittaway makes her World Championship debut, makes the cut in the top 20. She will be in 2nd spot with 15 to go.
Hi, Mum and Dad. Love you.
And it'll take a while before the bruises subside from this track.
Yeah, there's the take on to 11. That forces her up late to 12. But she does pretty good there in 13. Watch the exit. Watch all the body parts in one direction. That looks pretty good. She lost a lot of time up top, Martin.
Loves this track. Already says it's her favorite. Unfortunately, it punishes the body hard. 5 sleds down. Kimberley Bos of the Netherlands is our race leader. Final heat of the Women's Skeleton World Championships. Final 15 sleds of the regular season, the World Championships of Women's Skeleton. Renata Kutsina of Russia in her first Worlds in the top 15.
Martin, in the first run, she was the 7th best sled down the hill. 2nd run, 19. 3rd run, 15.
Yeah, where has that speed gone from heat 1? She was 13th off the start as well, so it wasn't like she had the best ice to deal with. She just dealt with it better. And heat 2 and 3, she's not been able to recapture that form.
Top 10 in the World Cup points, so she's got the talent.
Big breakout season for her, her first full year in the World Cup.
400's back now.
She had not raced on this track before the World Championships, John.
800's back.
She had her 2nd World Championship appearance. She was 20th in Koenigsegg, trying to move up into the top 15, but it looks as though she might just lose out to Kimberley Bos of the Netherlands.
Well, Kimberley Bos is doing
not
what
a bad exit.
300s. There's Kimberley. She lost a bet about drinking coffee. She never drank coffee in her life. And she said, if I don't finish in the top 10, I'll drink coffee.
And that happened in Altenburg, 16th place. Then they went double or quits, and she kept trying to regain her coffee-free status. Renata Kutsina.
Look at her, the arm.
Well, it hurts just as much as if you move up, but perhaps for a little longer if you slip down.
Technique at the start. I mean, there's the eyes.
Yeah.
Any blinking going on there? I wonder how many times they blink on the way down, Martin. We got to get a sensor on that. Then this is the 4.5, which is, you know, she gets through there a little rough like everybody. And down here on the speed exit, curve 13, skidding.
Hugely enthusiastic for these North American tracks that she's never raced on before.
There's a lot of grabbing of the right arm.
Yeah, I can understand why. Canada's first slider in the field now in 13th place after 3 of the 4 heats. Maddy Smith from Calgary. Good start in the first heat, 7th fastest, hasn't matched that so far.
5:01, slower again.
Well, she started 4.91 in heat 1 and has now got slower down to a 5:01. Gap over Kutziner, 11 hundredths of a second. Gap over Kimberley Bos was 22 hundredths of a second.
17th in the first heat, 13th in the second and third heats. Home track advantage. She had good speed in the bottom in the last run. She's going to need it.
2 hundredths back.
Well, she had good lines though. She was the same predicament in the third run. She overcame the red numbers to green, but that's pretty sloppy there.
A little wild, and every time the sled goes sideways, it robs her of some of the speed that she's been trying to build up. Beat Jane Channel into the team in a shootout. And across the line, she loses 3 spots.
Kim Bos making some moves down there in the bottom.
Well,
it's a good strategy to post the time and hang out in that leader's box.
Yeah. If you haven't had 3 great runs, make the 4th one count, and you can move up the order. Maddy Smith from Calgary, hence the stampeding horse on the side of the helmet. Another of the athletes produced by Canada Olympic Park in its 30-year history.
6 to 7, and then this is down to 11, 12. She taps before 12. That forces a lot of extra steering. And then on the exit of 13, she's paying for a mistake up at 11. And she corrects, but when you correct that much, Martin, you save off a lot of time, and you can tell she's not happy.
Yeah. Body language tells you all you need to know. Tied with Maddy Smith of Canada is Maddy Smith of Great Britain from near Solihull in the West Midlands. Maddy, 24 years old, World Cup debut, a World Championship debut.
Good start. Top 7 the last run, 4.92. It's her second best start of the competition. And British athletes, she shows some ability with that start time, Mark.
Yeah, former 100-meter hurdler, so she's not short in fast twitch fiber, is she?
She's got a few hurdles to overcome coming down this thing.
Right.
90 miles an hour.
Losing ground to Kimberley Bos already. It's been a bit of a mixed bag for Maddy. 16th fastest, then 11th, then 14th. Now she's just about stabilizing the ship. She needs to be smooth out of corner 10, down into the Gold Rush Trail.
Oh, she's +3.
Gone behind. Final corner can make all the difference. A clean exit out of 16 might be enough. 900's back. If she slams the wall, no, now she might just catch her. No. Speed dropped away.
I don't think the athletes coming down the last 4 or 5 sleds have had bad heats. I just think Kimberley Bos had a superior heat.
Yeah.
She was 60, 100, 40 hundreds better than her 3 previous heats. But of course, she's an 8th place finisher from the last Olympics. She should be up in the top 10.
Hello. Thank you, Eric, for everything this season. We're going to miss you.
That's coach Eric Benotas, former American slider, who is retiring after the World Championships. There he is in the background.
You can tell she's got that track and field ability, just the way she runs, gets on the sled, her gait. Down here, Martin, a little struggle out of the 7 curve.
Hello, thank you, Eric, for everything this season.
Lives in Bath, born in Hazley in West Midlands. So next up is Mimi Reneva. After waiting 2 years between World Cup win number 1 and World Cup win number 2, she waited barely 4 weeks for World Cup win number 3 in Calgary a fortnight ago. Now can she drive her way into a top 10 World Championship result here on Canadian ice?
Don't think she has a lot of love for the track, even though she owned the start record. She still owns the start record.
Yep.
485 start, Martin. That's about in the mix. 481 was her best start. Just doesn't look comfortable coming down the track. This is after she won one of those 2 races we had in Calgary.
Team silver medalist in the competition last weekend, so whatever else happens, she will go away with a World Championship silver around her neck. But she was hoping for much more in the women's skeleton.
This is huge lead here.
Yeah.
And that's relative to one of the best starters in the field. And maybe she's going to have her best run of the 4.
The gap is coming down, was 80 hundredths down to 69. But she's hanging on, 140.4 across the line, big hit.
53.85.
There we go.
That's what you expect. Martin, first time under 54 seconds in the 4 heats. That's the way to roll things over to the finish.
An uncomfortable dismount, but then discomfort is what this track is all about. You get out battered and bruised. Fastest speed at the bottom, by the way, from Ashley Pittaway, 88.2 miles an hour. Head first, chin on the ice, not looking where you're going because you're trimmed out for speed.
Well, exit of 1, not comfortable, a little tap. You can't do that on this track. You know, especially when you have a great start like that, you give some of it back with that little tap. And this is down into the curve, 10, 11. That's pretty good. This is, oh, you should hit, if you're going to hit, Martin, hit. Look at her head off. She keeps it down. But
buried for speed. Well, there's Mimi with Rita Vace, Liz Meyer's mum. She's the unofficial mum of the Canadian team. Next up, Kendall Westerberg of the USA. And Kendall with a 4100s advantage over current leader Mimi Reneva.
501, her best start's been a 498. Can she get through? Ooh, she's skidded. At a 2, not too bad, a little late, but 4100's down to 22. That's relative to the start, so now she needs to stop the bleeding, as we like to say, and keep it single digits, worst case scenario.
Best World Championship result, Koenigsegg Bavaria 2 years ago. She finished 13.
She did very well, Mark. She's pretty loose, but you know, sometimes these loose rides, I mean, the smoothest rides sometimes are not the fastest.
She's really building the advantage. This is to try and get into the top 10. This is what she did yesterday with her second heat, where Kendall was 9th fastest on the 3rd heat.
She doesn't hit.
Oh, across the line, 53.88. A couple of hundreds slower than we've just seen from Mimi Reneva, but that really throws down the gauntlet for Canada's Elizabeth Meyer, who is their top slider and the only Canadian in the top 10. She'll come up in a couple of minutes, and the girl from Modesto, California, that is a big shout for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, even with this mistake here in the exit of 1, her toe touches the wall, skidding. This was a little late here. She flops down in 6 to 7. But you know, she lets it go. She won a medal in 2 medals so far. 1 in St. Moritz 2 years back, and then 1 recently in Lake Placid about a month back. She's an athlete who knows how to go fast at the bottom.
Yes, she does.
Better starts, she could be right in the mix.
Bleeding chin, cut mouth. This track does not treat you well. Kendall Westerberg, the leader. 10 sleds down, 10 still to come in the last heat of the Women's Skeleton World Championships 2019.
We're at 2 minutes to start.
Well, I've just seen Kendall Westerberg come down within a few hundreds of Mimi Reneva. The difference is that their best runs, 53.8. Tina Hermann, the leader, her worst run, 53.4. And that's the big advantage that Tina Hermann has on a lot of the field here. Her consistency, her ability to generate pace. The more ice there is, the better it works for the German athletes. They don't have big starts, John, but boy, they can slide the track. Where we go next year, Altenburg for the World Championships. Starts not vital. Being able to drive is, though. And there's your leader, Kendall Westerberg.
Now, she do in the leader's box when there's a commercial timeout. There's Elizabeth Meyer, got married to Benny Meyer, Austrian bobsledder. We'll see him coming up in a couple hours. I think he drew number 3 in the field. Number 1, 2 or he's in the top 3 in the field.
Yeah. So you can see athletes and teams gathering at the top. The bobsleds aren't here yet, but a lot of the bobsledders are watching the action. Some of the men's skeleton sliders as well. Saw Marcus Wyatt and his teammates down there in the crowd, having just completed the men's race before the lunch break. So we do 2 heats of men's skeleton to decide the world champion, Martin Stuckers, for the 6th time. We have 2 heats of women's skeleton, and then the first 2 heats of the 4-man bobsleigh. That competition concludes on Saturday afternoon, starting at 5 p.m. just as the sun's going down. There's Dave Kresh-Cheshin on the left-hand side in the black beanie. His wife and baby are here, we're along with mum and dad, and Kendall Westerberg representing for Deanna Panting, the former slider who runs the Quick Skins Suit Company, and everyone else she can think of. Final 10 sleds, the 2019 BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Championships. Elizabeth Meyer of Canada first on the line. Top 10 finish after 3 heats. Martin Haven and John Morgan trackside to see if the Canadian can stay in the top 10 ahead of current leader Kendall Westerberg of the USA.
Hey, 12 months ago at the Olympics, Elizabeth Meyer was first in the 2nd run, 2nd in the 4th run. Martin, you figured she's going to lock herself into a medal? No, because she was 12th and 14th in the other 2 runs. So Elizabeth is one of the best sliders in the world, but she can't put them all together. For example, last week in Calgary, 2 weeks ago in Calgary, she was leading into the 1st run, fell to 4th. But she can put the good times down, Martin, when it all comes together.
Was 2700s over Kendall Westerberg after 3 heats. The gap's gone from 34 to 22. It'll be down close to single digits here. No, she stops the bleeding.
She won on this track a couple years ago, Martin, at the opening events of the season. 2300s. This will be the leader. Question is by how much?
Big hit.
Threw it down 29, 53.86, second best time of the run.
Yeah.
So that guarantees her, well,
she'll be the only Canadian in the top 10. Teammates Maddy Charney and Mimi Reneva have already completed their World Championships, so she will be no worse than 10th. There is a chance that she could move up.
Couple chances here. 300s, yeah, she could move up with, again, look at her athleticism, the way she jumped on the sled. Her hips hit first, good lines. Got a curve 1 though. Not perfect.
Bronze medalist in the World Championships in Westerberg 2015.
6-7 there.
Long way from that here on home ice in Whistler.
Nice job.
So Savannah Graybill next up, as Kendall Westerberg is eased out of leader spots by Elizabeth Meyer. Her American teammate has a chance to try and stay in front. 300s, the gap between her and Liz Meyer over 3 runs. 1,500 meters of ice, an average of 100th of a second difference between them on each run.
12th place is the best finish she's had this season on the World Cup, Martin, and this is probably the biggest heat of her sliding career.
Well, the charm for Savannah was her first heat. She was 6th fastest in the entire field off a 19th place start draw.
And the Americans won a medal in the team competition because of the 9 teams in. 9 different women's skeletons went down. She had the fastest time. That's when you knew she had a little love for this track.
200s up, 300s up on Liz Meyer for the first heat. She started nearly a 10th slower. Gaps out to 1300s.
Well, she's been quick on the bottom. Here she comes.
Kendall Westerberg is coming. Elizabeth Meyer's tenure in the leaders box looks as though it is coming to an end. Huge height for the American in the final corner. Just avoids the wall. That's it. She is in the lead by 2 tenths. 53.69.
You'd love to see athletes achieve their personal best.
Yep. She's done a 54.06, 54.03, 53.85, 53.69. Better, 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 best. Now that might put enough pressure on Russia's Yulia Kanakina to move her up another spot.
She can glide, that's for sure. You saw it all week long, Martin, good times in training, but then at the team competition, when she posted the best time of 9 sleds, that's when we went, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a fluke. She likes the track.
Team bronze medalist.
Perfect lines on the bottom, that's where she got the speed. Wow.
She will be in the top 10, no worse than 9th.
Personal best.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Graham.
Savannah Graybill of the USA, the leader. Real pressure now on the 2017 Junior World Champion, Yulia Kanakina, the 22-year-old in her third World Championships. Huge starter, but it ebbs away down the track.
I would say she's one of the smallest athletes in the field, Martin. She's got 2,700 lead, but just doesn't get the good speed in the bottom, doesn't have complete control of the sled.
8th fastest in her second and third trip down the mountain, John, but only 11th fastest in Heat 1. She moved up overnight. Can she stay in 8th?
Well, when you have a start like she's got,
yeah.
But again, like her teammate, Nicotina, she's diminutive in size.
Former ballet dancer, just watch her tapping her way down like a tap dancer with the toes, trying to correct the steers fractionally. The gap is coming down a little to 3300s.
She's good there.
She's looking much more controlled than Heat 3. Kanakina is going to lead at the line, not by a lot, but by enough. Big hit for Yulia. Across the line she comes.
53-54, so she got better every heat down, Martin. That's her best heat of the 4.
What else it tells us is not just that they're learning how the track is today and improving, but that the ice is quicker yet. Yulia Kanakina will be no worse than 8th place.
Good relief for her.
But her previous best was in Eagles in 2016. She was 20th. That's a big step up.
And she won her first ever World Cup medal earlier in the season. Good season for her, good way to finish.
Yeah.
Top 10 at the World Championships, personal bests. And on the bottom part of the track, and you could see how small she is, she had the good lines. Look at her head down there, Martin. Look at that. I mean, that's not looking at 90 miles an hour.
Who else used to do that? Anya Huber. Always had almost her ear on the ice to get her head as low as she could. Yulia Kanakina leads with 7 to go. Former World Championship silver medalist Janine Flock of Austria, 7th after first day's action, and stays in 7th place over the 3 heats. Oh, drift out wide from that right-hand groove.
Very good start. She's got a lot to overcome now. That's going to get out to 10 or 1500s here at the next clock.
She had 1600s in hand over Kanakina. She's 2100s back. So from here on down, out of corner 5, she needs to outdrive her by 3500s.
She's been sliding for 10 years. World Championship medals, couple of them. She had the third, and 6th best times in the first 3 heats of the Olympics. Posted the 10th best time in the 4th run, and lost an Olympic medal by 200ths of a second.
She's competed in every World Championship since Altenburg 2008. She'll be back for Altenburg 2020 as her 9th World Championships.
Not going to do it here, though.
No, and she is going to lose not 1, not 2, but 3 places.
It's been a tough season. Matthias Guggenberger there, her partner and coach.
Well, she has not been healthy as opposed to not being fit for the last month at least.
She missed 3 or 4 events just because of her health and some surgery in the summertime. But then she got a virus, Martin, missed most of the North American events, although she stayed in the country. But this is one of the better sliders in the world when she's 100%. But
up until this week, she hadn't slid on ice pretty much since before Christmas. So she's really struggling for race fitness.
Hey, just the fact that she finished where she did.
Well, still firmly in the top 10, Janine Flock of Austria. She's in 3rd place. Kanakina leads with 6 to go.
Thank you.
The big mover, in fact, probably almost the only mover up the order in Heat 3, was Marina Gilardoni of Switzerland. Marina, after setting the 12th fastest time in the first heat that she was bitterly disappointed with, came down 4th fastest in Heat 3. Now, can she move up as well? The answer is yes, she can, but will she?
Ooh, little out of the drive lines, the wrong direction, 498, which ties her start time from the previous heat. Martin, she's been in a lot of World Championships, not only in skeleton, though.
Yeah, double junior World Championship winner in bobsleigh. This is her 8th Worlds, 2 of them as a bob push athlete, 6 as a skeleton slider for Switzerland.
I asked her if she was going to go back to bobsled. She said she doesn't think so. She likes being in control of her own destiny.
We had that conversation a couple of years ago in St. Moritz. She said she tried driving it once, hated it, went to skeleton immediately.
Only 900s, watch out.
Oh, she was wild and fast in the third heat. Can she keep the speed on board?
Oh, it's not a 400.
400s of a second.
Maybe a tie.
Oh, a tiny touch on the wall. And it is 200s in front.
What a great finish for her. She lost time all the way on the bottom part of the track. But Martin, this is great. Her first run, look at her.
You heard the excitement. 12th place after the first heat, 6th position at the finish. Way to go, Marina Gilardoni.
Oh, look at the athleticism, the way she gets on that sled. The eyes. Still looking for somebody to blink.
Not into turn 1.
Yeah, there's 11, 12. This is the exit of 13. Not bad. This is where she started losing time back.
Got that legs akimbo slide, yeah, piccolo, but she is in the lead with 5 sleds to go. Well, Marina Gilardoni leads from Yulia Kanakina and Savannah Graybill. 5 sleds to go in the Women's World Championships for skeleton. Elena Nikitina, our World Cup champion, the first Russian woman ever to claim the Crystal Globe. In the top 5, fastest starter in the field, John.
78, 79. She owns the track record here at the start. She 479, excuse me. Maybe
tied it
yesterday. But she really hasn't had good lines coming down the track, Martin. And 1700's lead. Now she's got 4800s. That's all relative to the start. But pretty quick, she's going to start giving it back.
She's probably giving away 20 kilos to the heavier athletes. And John, cannonballs fall faster than feathers. I'm not saying that Marina is a cannonball, but if you have less weight on the sled, you fall or accelerate less quickly down the mountain. 4,700, she's holding the advantage, but it's coming back down, 3,800.
This gets down to the teens before that final clock.
She's about 2 miles an hour shy on speed, 3,600. She will be the leader at the line, gets a decent order from the final corner.
Second best time of the run.
Decent exit.
So, hey, that's a good way to finish, 53.66. She was an athlete we thought would, Martin, that's the same exact time she had down in the third run.
Yeah.
Exact to the 100.
Well, if she hadn't put in a 53 and an 81 on day 1, she'd have been a little happier girl.
You know what she was disappointed in? She didn't break the start record.
I think that was a bit of relief that she held her spot. She'll be no worse than 5th.
Yeah, you can see she had some issues there into the entrance to 10. All the way down to the speed exit of 13 on the super speedway here. Look at her. Oh, I didn't get the start record. I was trying.
Yeah.
Всем привет, с 8 марта, мама! Спасибо, что были с нами.
Our World Cup champion with 3 wins out of 8 starts under her belt. She was only once out of the top 4. The last chance to break up German domination remains with Anna Fehn-Stetterer. In the World Championships in Königssee 2017, she was 4th for Germany. Here she lies 4th for the Czech Republic. Can she beat her former teammates to a medal?
Martin, she was 6th last year in the Olympic Games, and she was only 1400ths out of a medal. And she's just the opposite of Nikitina. She gets no start. If you look, she's got the 15th best start, 5:08. But she is a glider on the bottom part of the track, much like her ex-German teammate Jacqueline Lolling, who's coming up in a couple sleds.
Just 22 years old.
Watch this now.
The World Championships in Königssee, she finished 4th in the skeleton race, but the team bronze medalist.
Here she comes. Look at her form. Look at her.
Is it going to be enough to take a medal? She's 3/10 behind Savannah Graybill. She's going to require Graybill to do something heinously wrong. Great exit for Anna Fehn-Stetterer, 53.62. Okay, that might not be enough to take a medal, but she will be no worse than 4th. That's where she finished in Königssee with the might of the German operation behind her. 2 years on, with 4 Czech bobsledders around her. She is in 4th place again, at least.
Martin, we have to go deep into the record book, but I think that's the best Czech finish ever at a World Championship in women's skeleton.
I can't remember seeing a Czech Republic slider in women's skeleton.
A couple. There's been a few of these, and the men also, but hey, top 5, top 6 here is awesome.
She will be no worse than fourth.
Молодец.
Anna Benchtetova leads from Elena Nikitina and Marina Gilardoni. 3 to go. Are we going to see a German sweep of the Women's Skeleton World Championship podium? Sophia Graybill believes yes, we are. Now, her major question, perhaps, is there anything she can do to move up from a bronze medal position after 3 heats?
Martin, I think she's just content to get through the first curve. Ooh, 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 that's not good. 497, ninth best start. We'll see how much that slows her down. But Martin, she's got her first ever medal. Again, she hasn't medaled in the World Cup all season, finishing 4th in World Cup points. Hasn't been on the podium, I don't think, in her career. And of course, doesn't have a World Championship medal. She's got a huge amount of time in the bank. It's up to 42.
Ooh, little tap dance there into corner 9.
Now the conservative line at the bottom will give her first World Championship medal, and Martin should be excited like she won the gold. She's in the twilight of the other 2 German athletes, but a World Championship medal.
Sophia Graybill heading to a medal here in the World Champs. Big hit on the line, maintains her form studiously, and she will be at least the bronze medalist. 53.35.
Best of the 4 runs.
Blows Anna Benchtetova away by over a quarter of a second. Benchtetova not going to make it into the medals, at least not guaranteed, but Graybill is, and that is a huge result for a girl who's been in and out of Germany's World Cup squad.
Finally on a podium.
Wow, Sophia Graybill.
To start, now we got a little nervous up here. She gets on and watch a little bit of a drift out of the drive lines. Now she's got to steer, get away from that wall, but then she's got a double steer to get on a curve 1. She got away with that, and Martin, with the time she just posted, if she didn't have that dilemma, she might have even been 20 hundredths better.
Well, I got to say, this is the best 7 days of her life. Team gold medalist, and now at least a bronze medalist in the women's skeleton race. The red jersey is the world champion. Jacqueline Lurling claims the title in Koenigsegg 2017. She was the silver medalist 2 years earlier on her debut at home in Westerberg. And it is now a battle of the 2 German world champions for gold here.
Her parents are here, a couple of friends. We had coffee with them the other day. Pretty exciting, they call her Jacko. Look at the accident, perfect. Doesn't get the starts, but she can glide down a track. Martin, her mentor, Marion Thies, the only 2-time world champion in women's skeleton. And she had no start and was just unbelievable, the speed merchant she was, speed queen on the bottom part of the track, and that's what Roland does.
Thies won her medals in Lake Placid and in Koenigsegg, 2 real drivers' tracks, and that's what Lurling needs as well. So this plays well to her strengths. Altenburg will, Lake Placid will, the next 2 worlds as well, but it's going to be a really tough ask for her to claim gold here. She's giving it everything she can. Track record! Oh my goodness!
Snuck up on us, Martin.
Is it possible that Jacqueline Lurling will reel in Tina Hermann and take gold? Oh, look at her!
What a way to finish.
Beaten up by the track even after she gets to the finish line.
Speed merchant. Wow. The only wall she hit was in the finish. Martin, she's tall, she's almost 6 foot, and she just knows how to drive. I mean, look at the speed exit here on 13. How do these lines look?
Look at her, line astern, the body follows the eyes. Jacqueline Lurling, could it be? It's been a really tough emotional roller coaster couple of weeks for her. What about Tina Hermann then? Now, how does she respond? She must know that Jacka has just broken the track record. The gap was 39 hundredths. Hermann has led with the fastest run in 3 heats. She's got to do it again.
Martin, this is another heartbreak story at the Olympics last year. She was 4th, 1st, and 4th in 3 heats, but her second heat, she was 10th. I was there at the finish when she came across the finish line. She was devastated then. She fought back to miss a medal by less than a 10th. She could extract revenge on that disappointment right now.
Half a second up. This is the battle of the last two women's world champions. Herman won in Innsbruck 2016, Lurling, Koenigsegg 2017. The Olympic silver medalist as a leader, and Herman is holding her lead. Still 4,200 up, she was 3,900 up. If she keeps this going, it'll be a new track record, or she may even tie it down the line.
No.
Oh, 100 off tying the track record.
So Lurling walks away with second, but the track record. But Tina Herman will take the gold medal.
You saw her kick her legs with excitement. Tina Herman is a double women's world champion, and the first to congratulate her are her fellow teammates, her fellow German medal winners.
She's been in the twilight of Jacqueline Lurling for 3 years. Now she's the winner.
There's that fist pump. Tina Herman, double world champion. Jacqueline Lurling, silver, and Savannah Graybill takes the bronze. That is a huge day for German women's skeleton.
That's her standard fist pump.
Now the emotion will come, I think. Anna Fehn-Stetteber, former German slider, fourth, ahead of Elena Nikitina and Marina Gilardoni in sixth spot. There's Janine Flock offering her congratulations. The girl that Tina beat into silver in Innsbruck. Last time she took the title.
Well, what can you say? She's world champion in 2015, had a couple years of getting beat by her German teammate Jacqueline Lurling, missed an Olympic medal in Korea last year, was so distraught. But here she comes back. Martin, she got off the plane saying, I love this track, I love the speed, I love how smooth it is. Well, she's the winner.
It plays to her strengths and to the strength of teammate Jacqueline Lurling and Savannah Graybill. So here is our result. Tina Herman is a double world champion. Jacqueline Lurling takes silver. Savannah Graybill claims the bronze after winning team gold last week, the greatest week of her career so far. Germany sweep the podium. Anna Fehn-Stetteber, Elena Nikita, Marina Gilardoni round out the top 6. And big results for Savannah Graybill in 8th place for Team USA. Those are the remaining finishers in the Women's World Championships. So only one slider has claimed 2 World Championships in women's skeleton. That was Marion Trott, as she was, Marion Thies, as she became, by her second gold medal for Germany. Lizzie Arnold, once a world champion, 2015 in Westerberg, a double Olympic gold medalist, of course. But Tina Herman now becomes a double world champion. In the men's competition earlier today, Martin Stuckhaus claimed his 6th world title in a remarkable display. And Tina Herman, beaten by 100 in that final run by Jacqueline Lurling, setting a new track record. There's Jacka. Savannah Graybill, I think, can barely believe the week she's had. Graybill in the full World Cup team this season, finished 4th in the year, didn't make it onto the podium, and she walks away from the Worlds at one of the toughest tracks on the planet with a team gold medal and a bronze that she has earned all by herself, and with her teammates around her. What a week it's been for German women's skeleton. Beautiful fortnight of weather here on the fastest ice on the planet. The 2010 Winter Olympic venue, the Whistler Sliding Centre. We've had sensationally tight and exciting racing, and for the skeleton athletes, particularly punishing physically as well. And now, with the skeleton completed, we look towards the rest of the final weekend of action and the 4-man bobsleigh. But first, we will salute our champion and our podium finishers. Confirmation of the 2019 BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Championship result. Tina Hermann, gold, silver for Jacqueline Lurling, and bronze. Her first medal as an individual for Savannah Graybill in the World Championships, ahead of Anna Fenstetova, Elena Nikitina, Marina Gilardoni, and the rest of the field. So we came here with 26 athletes from 18 nations, including 7 World Championship debutantes. And in the end, after busting out the moves in all 4 heats, Tina Hermann only beaten at all on this track by 100th in the final run. And she had a comfortable overnight lead and built on it in the 3rd heat to put the medals out of reach, or the gold at least. Tina Hermann, a 2-time world champion. So there are our German trio. President of the IBSF, the International Bobsleigh and Skeleton Federation, Ivo Ferriani, presents the flowers to Savannah Graybill, the bronze medalist, to Jacqueline Lurling, the silver medalist, and to Tina Hermann, the gold medalist. And next year in Altenberg in Germany, Tina Hermann will wear the red vest of the world champion, and she will look to defend her title against, well, her teammates and all other comers. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, congratulations to her. Thank you for being with us for our season of skeleton sliding. For John Morgan, for all my co-announcers throughout the year, for the IBSF TV crew here, thank you for being with us. We'll see you for more skeleton action in the 2019-20 season. The World Championships continues here in Whistler with 4-man bobsled. We'll see you for all the action at 5 p.m.